Okay, good morning. Thank you for joining Uxbee's first official webinar. My name is Jeroen Huizinga and I will be your host today. Even though Uxbee is a new name in the world of Sitecore, the people behind the brand are far from new. Uxbee consists out of an extraordinary group of Sitecore veterans. We have multiple MVPs as well as former Sitecore employees in our midst. Uxbee is a dedicated Sitecore implementation partner, and as such, we have a deep understanding of the whole Sitecore software stack. From a traditional Sitecore experience platform implementations to the new composable solutions Sitecore recently launched. Sitecore also acknowledged our positions within the market and awarded us with a gold status as well as being awarded a partner, a focused partner. We help customers build great websites, but also help them utilize all the different marketing functionality the Sitecore products has to offer. With great customers like Rai, Unified Post, Brunel, Fijn Wonen, Ser, and Brunel. Today, I'm pleased to dive deeper in the newest addition to the Sitecore stack, named Sitecore OrderCloud. I'm pleased to introduce two speakers from Sitecore who will tell you more about this great new addition. First up, we have Peter Fellows, who is a sales lead from Sitecore Commerce, and Marc Ramer, e-commerce specialist at Sitecore. I will let them introduce themselves. Hopefully you enjoy this webinar, and if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A, and we'll answer them after the presentation. So take it away, Peter.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Fellows. As you said, I'm a commerce specialist for Sitecore. I've been with Sitecore for over 4 years now, but been with commerce for many years, as you can tell by the grey hair and the grey beard. So hopefully this morning will be interesting for you. We're going to run through a couple of areas around market trends. I've got some stats which you can take away and digest. Everybody loves a good stat, I think. And then we're going to get into commerce as a specialist area. We're going to talk to you about Sitecore's position now in the market for commerce and some of the reasons why we think we have some fantastic offerings for you, whether you be in a B2B or a B2C mode. As Jeroen said, please add any questions to the chat line. Any comments about what we're saying, about what we're not saying, anything at all. Please converse and take part. So what I'll do, I'll run through a couple of industry trends at the moment. Again, interesting slides. You may think that some of those trends apply to you. You may think that actually, these are things that come out of a textbook and really don't apply to the real world. I'd be really interested in your feedback on that front. But let's look at some of these trends for the brands and some of the challenges that big brands are now engaging as markets seem to accelerate, as markets change from day to day, probably, and we've been through some of the biggest changes many of us have seen in a lifetime, and how companies really have to address some of those big changes. So, buyer expectations. We now all know that we're all buyers actually. So, we bring this experience as from our own lives. Buyers' experience need to be more personalized. Why does this brand that I buy from so often not know who I am, not know my preferences, not know the sort of things I buy and the sort of things I'd be interested in? So many of the online stores these days all look the same. I think we can all agree on that point. Probably there's limitations in the technology they're using. I think we'll move on to that point a little later on. But typically, many brands, many sites all look very similar with a similar type of offer. And that's not good for a brand. Brands need to differentiate in order to drive value and in order to basically survive in this very competitive world. Supply chain transparency is very key. I always believe that part of the consumer offer is the whole chain. Is that promise. It's you want to buy something, you can buy it. Now you want it, and how do you get it? So transparency, visibility around order management, around where that inventory is, how the fulfillment cycles work. That's a big challenge, I think, for today's, because many systems are disjointed, unconnected, and really you're failing your consumer if you cannot offer the complete promise to them. Let's talk about real-time engagements and disconnected markets. Real-time engagement is really key, but when you have a proliferation of channels, then how do you coordinate that information, whether it's just purely content or it is actually allowing people to transact in many different channels, in many different ways, from many different touch points. And that's a very, very key these days, because of course, we don't just have websites running on laptops. We have devices that can order for you. We have VR headsets. There's so many different areas whereby you can capture that purchase and capture that consumer. And disconnected markets is key. I think, you know, growth is happening now on a global scale, has done for a while, but certainly in the digital sphere, there have been limitations and barriers to that. And I think now, you know, those limitations and barriers come down. You need the ability to pivot, as we say, or to basically take the opportunity of different channels, different market models, and different go-to-market scenarios, whether that be B2C, whether it be direct to consumer, whether it be through marketplaces, or whether it be you actually want to build your own marketplace. And that's, we see, one of the fastest growing areas of commerce. All that, of course, relies on your technology support and your technology background. And these are times it's very difficult for IT and technologists to keep to pace with the way businesses are driving some of these digital transformations. So technology really needs to be brought into the 21st century, needs to be modernized, and it needs to be of a certain kind. And we'll touch on that a little while as we go through this presentation. So there's some of the trends for brands. Hopefully you agree. If you don't, please put it down in the chat line. One of the big market analysts, Gartner, have really come out in terms of saying where they believe organizations need to be in order to take advantage, the best advantage of an e-commerce transformation. So they're saying that your commerce systems, your commerce approach has to be composable. And we'll talk a little bit about what composable means in a technology sense. But here we're talking about the ability to connect, to customize, to be flexible in terms of the commerce offer and the commerce experience you're providing. And that has to be done very, very quickly. So it says here, if you go down the composable approach, and we of course would agree with that, you know, you are nearly twice as quick in terms of being able to offer new features, new processes, new ways of buying, and new ways of engaging with your consumer. Nearly twice as quick in terms of doing that. And when you think of some of the problems many of us have had over the last couple of years in being agile, in adjusting to some severe market changes, then the ability to change those approaches and change that engagement is very, very key. So Gartner say composable is the way forward, and we obviously agree with that. What has Sitecore done about composable? Well, Sitecore has been a leader in the content and experience marketplace for almost 20 years. We built a very large platform which had many lines of code and lots of different features to drive personalization, to drive omni-channel content. And, you know, as I said, we were market leaders for a while, but that monolithic platform was becoming very heavy and was becoming more and more difficult to, and more costly actually, to develop, maintain and change. And certainly the shift towards composable is something we agree with, and we have done that to our business as well. So you could see here that our large monolithic platform is now being changed or now being dissected into many different composable elements. So we have essentially three clouds at the moment. One is the content cloud. You can see the systems that we provide within that content cloud. The engagement cloud, which drives personalization, which is around CDP, data analysis. And then we have the commerce cloud, which is OrderCloud, something we're going to focus on this morning, but also talk a little bit about our AI-powered search and merchandising and personalization system called Sitecore Discover. So all those are composables. All those can sit as standalone applications. All those can live within diverse tech stacks. So we know that you will have many different applications. You'll have different suppliers providing different technologies, some of them best of breed. And we want to be a good neighbor to those tech stacks. So you'll find that all of the what we believe is market leading applications can actually sit aside some of the other providers within the marketplace. And we want to do that well. Okay, just a little bit of information here. The martech market and the digital transformation market, let's call it that, is quite complex, quite interesting. But it's always strange to me, and always quite nice for me as a commerce veteran, I suppose, is to always see commerce as the #1 priority. And you can see here from the martech report that digital commerce platforms are still the #1 priority for senior people, for board level particularly, for organizations to be investing in and prioritizing when they're looking at the whole application stack. So, you know, if you're going to your board with a number of projects under your arm, then don't be surprised if somebody at the board level turn to you and say, we need to be doing commerce, or we need to be improving commerce, because that's the way that this company is going to grow. And just a couple of stats here, which you might like. Sitecore engaged with Wunderman Thompson, a large agency, to do a global B2B study. And some of these stats are really interesting. You know, 78% of B2B buyers told us they want a better mobile experience. So certainly mobile first is the direction that everybody's going in. You know, 55% of all US buyers switched during pandemic. Switch all their suppliers, 25% switch because of the bad online experiences. And you can see there's some of those stats, you know, 92% of B2B buyers surveyed now expect a B2C experience, something that's rich in experience, something that's rich in engagement, in content, and something that's going to give them all the information they need. Okay, so hopefully that information is interesting to you. Let's focus a little bit now on commerce, and you know, these are some areas here where commerce businesses really lack these days, and it's no fault of anybody's really. It's just how the market has progressed and developed over time. So you can see here that typically scalability is one of the big issues. You know, typically when you have to scale, whether it's for Black Monday, Black Friday, for whatever sale or whatever purge you want to do, then scalability is often difficult. You have to buy in extra resources, you have to make sure you manage those resources, and there's typically a lot of cost to that. Okay, a lot of management cost. Customizability, we've talked about how customers now want to have something quite specific, and you as a brand need to build something quite specific and drive different segments of your market, different segments of your consumer base to give them their personalized experience. Customizability on monolithic platforms is very, very difficult. Extensibility, how do you integrate to your back office, to any new tech that's coming along, VR headsets, you know, the cars, anything like that. That's often been very, very difficult for a monolithic platform. And then agility, really, as we've talked about, the ability to change a business, the ability to say yes when your business is asking you to do something very, very different. That's really the key to new commerce and new composable commerce. And hopefully you'll pick up some of that as we go through the next set of slides. So what I'm going to do now is pass over to Marc Ramer, my colleague, and he's going to take you through some more information on the commerce offering that Sitecore has. Over to you, Marc.
Thank you, Peter. Hi, everyone. My name is Marc Ramer. I'm a senior solution engineer at Sitecore. I'm specialized on our commerce offering. I've been a developer on commerce. I've been a technical lead, so I have quite many years of experience on commerce. And today I'm going to take you through our offering, talk about the Sitecore Commerce Cloud, and also show you a quick demo. Can my colleagues just confirm you're seeing my screen? Yeah. Seems like okay. So first, when you acquire Sitecore Commerce Cloud, the first thing is that you can own your roadmap. What do I mean by that? When you acquire Sitecore Commerce Cloud, you acquire a huge set of Lego bricks. With those Lego bricks, you can build a car, you can create a building, you can create a house, an airport, you can build whatever you want. And that's the flexibility. And this allows to own your roadmap. If today you want to build a house and in 10 years add more floors or build a garage next to it, you can do that. That's the flexibility we ship with Sitecore OrderCloud. And that's thanks to a few things. First, it's thanks to the architecture. The architecture is based on microservices. It's a highly scalable and it's a highly composable architecture. It's an API first architecture, meaning you use the microservices only via APIs. There's no other way to use the microservices. It's an API first solution. It's cloud native, meaning we host the microservices and the APIs using Microsoft Azure facilities. And this makes it all a natively headless solution. Experiences are completely decoupled from the commerce engine, the set of microservices. And this provides you design freedom to build experiences that behave and look like your business requires. So that's all the composability we are shipping, where you can pick and choose the features you want to use, plug in third-party solutions or custom microservices. Sitecore Commerce Cloud is definitely a solution that provides flexibility over features. It's easier to build experiences that match your business needs than to buy a set building and try to force it into the airport or the small house you wanted to create. The next slide is a bit technical before we enter in the demos, but it shows you the evolution of architectures to show you where we are today and to explain this flexibility. On the left-hand side, you can see a traditional monolithic platform. That's the commerce engines that have been created in the last 20 years. At the back, you have this heavy monolith. Okay, that's the commerce engine. When you want to extend it, when you want to customize it, you have to go inside, create plugins that interact with the other features with the risk of side effects. That's also how you integrate third parties, going inside. And to do that, you have to understand how the commerce engine works to make sure that your customizations don't break anything. And when you want to upgrade to a newer version, it's very complex, because you have to test that your features, your customizations are still working with the newest release. And many times you have to correct everything to debug to make sure you can upgrade. Also, the storefronts are based on templates, meaning you are limited to what the templates authorize you to do. So typically here you are really forced in certain use cases with heavy and complex backend development to customize. This is rigid. All the platforms on the market moved away from this approach to this approach. They created a layer of APIs to separate the monoliths and the storefronts. The monoliths today are often hosted on the cloud, but it's still monoliths, so it's still rigid to extend, to customize, to integrate. You have more design flexibility thanks to the APIs. Thanks to this layer, all the platforms say we are headless, we are API first. Not really. It's partial APIs, it's retrofitted, meaning when you need some features that do not exist as APIs, you have to go back into customization or go back to this approach. Okay, and still extending, integrating is heavy backend development here. And this is where we are today. Instead of one heavy commerce engine, we have those tiny engines we call microservices. One is responsible for the orders, one for line items, one for users, one for promotions, and so on and so forth. They talk with one another via API routes. So it's all API calls because those microservices can only be used via APIs. It's an API first solution, meaning that 100% of the features are also available for the front ends. This provides entire omni-channel flexibility, entire design freedom. You can do whatever you want. You can build experiences that match your business. And this is true for the storefronts, but also for the admins. You can create your own admin if you need to, or you can use the one we ship. But that's full flexibility. Here with this approach, it's more flexible, and we are shifting development away from back-end development to front-end development, to lightweight front-end development. When you want to extend this approach, you never do a change inside the microservices, never ever. You create your own microservices, expose via APIs next to ours, and you connect your new microservices or third-party solutions or middleware to our APIs. So you create new API routes. And those API routes are created with webhooks, integration events, and so on. So this is the flexibility we provide today. On top of that, we have a highly extendable data model, which allows to extend every single entity with complex data structures. You can therefore manage any types of orders, any types of products, and so on. One more technical slide before I head into the demo. It shows those different layers, right? Here you have the backend layer, which is OrderCloud, the name of our commerce engine, the name of Commerce Cloud, Sitecore Commerce Cloud Commerce Engine. Here you have the integration layer. That's the custom microservices you will create. That's the third-party solutions that you want to connect with our set of microservices. It's also some connectors that we provide out of the box. Okay, and then you have the front-end layer. The front-end layer are all the experiences, the heads, the applications, front-end buyer fronts or admin applications on any connected device or touch point. And those front-end layer, those front-end applications, heads, can be created with all the modern frameworks. Next.js, Vue, Angular, React, .NET Core Headless. We have SDKs to support all those modern technologies. So this is lightweight front-end development. We are really switching the development from heavy back-end development to lightweight front-end development. Also for a front-end, we provide head start applications. We provide a head start storefront that supports B2B, B2C, and marketplace use cases. We have a head start admin as well that we have customers live with. So you're not left on your own here. You don't have to build absolutely everything from scratch. We have tools, SDKs, and applications already available. So that's a bit of technical introduction to show the value, the flexibility that our solution provides. Now let me run maybe into a demo, a first demo. Let me switch browser. Here, I'm logged in on a B2B marketplace called Cups. Cups was initially created for coffee shop owners. Okay, it's selling all the services, the products, the supplies, the perishables that a coffee shop needs. Okay, but Cups are selling some products and services themselves, but there are also hundreds of suppliers who are selling on this platform via Cups, where Cups takes just a commission. Okay, here I'm logged in as the owner of around 20 coffee shops. If I click here, you can see all the coffee shops I own. I can pick one of them. Okay, I'm going to pick the one in Washington, DC. So here I'm logged in as a mid-sized customer, meaning I have access to a mid-sized catalog with middle-tiered prices, right? If I own just one coffee shop, I might have a smaller, a tighter catalog with more expensive prices. Where if I'm a bigger customer who owns, I don't know, 100 coffee shops, then I'll have access to a wider catalog with cheaper prices. Supplies are really important. If you want to buy bread, coffee beans, or tea for your coffee shop, you might want to buy that from a local supplier. If my coffee shop is in Washington, DC, I don't want to buy bread from San Francisco. It doesn't make sense. So you can have your favorite suppliers. And when an order from this platform comes in, if you purchase from multiple suppliers at the same time, the order is split between all of them. So the right suppliers, the right warehouses, the right third-party sellers will fulfill the order. If I go through a bit, if I click on supplies here, you will see I can browse the catalog. I can shop in the kitchen or behind the bar. That's different categories. Here I have more subcategories, for example, perishables. I can view all products, again, subcategories. And at some point, we decide to show filters. We could show filters on the first level. That's pretty simple products. If I don't know, I search for almond milk. Let me go to almond milk here. I have a simple product detail page. You can see the quantity is already 3. That's the quantity of this product I currently have in my cart. Some information about the product. And here you can see more products from the same supplier and more similar products. If now I go back to the home page, I'm going to show you more complex products, more complex use cases that are available on this platform. Example, if I have problems with my equipment, with my coffee machines, here I can book equipment services. I have some description about the services, and I can choose between 2 types of services, a tune-up of my coffee machines or a repair. A repair if it's broken. Let's go for a repair. And here my product is configurable. When I book my equipment repair, first I have to provide some information. Okay, what type of equipment do I have? From which brand? What's my type of issue? I maybe have an electrical and a plumbing issue. I can describe my issue here. And then next step, I can proceed to scheduling. Here you have integrations with the calendars of the servicemen and women who will come to repair your coffee machine. So I have to still pick 3 dates in their calendars. So I can pick a date and choose a time frame in that date, another date, maybe here, yeah, here all the slots are available. And here I can pick one more slot, okay? I can also choose a different service point person, right? So to choose just from one calendar. Here I can add this product to the cart. So here you can see I've shown you simple products, base products, just with description and quantity, and more complex products that we're able to handle that require configuration and integrations. If you look at my cart on the right-hand side, the cart is split on purpose between supplies, staffing, and services. What is staffing? That's another type of complex products that's interesting here. If I need a barista in my coffee shop because I'm short on staff on certain dates, I can book a barista. click on book a barista. I see a few baristas profiles, and here I can book shifts. For example, I need someone on the 24th from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I can add that shift in my cart, right? Shift number 1 with a price. I can add a second shift on another day from 10:30 to 6 p.m. this time, and I can add those shifts to my cart. Again, I can choose from profiles. So you can see the ability here to handle a marketplace where you have third-party sellers, cups selling services themselves, and complex products that have to be configured. That's one example. This customer created their UIs from scratch themselves. So they are not using the default applications we are shipping. They created something from scratch. This shows the capabilities with this lightweight front-end development approach. You can very quickly build your experiences using the APIs of the Commerce Engine. If I switch back to slides before the next demo, I wanted to also explain you how this solution, how Sitecore Commerce Cloud increased revenues. You have this first part which you've just seen. You can tailor heads to look and behave as your business requires. That's very important. And that's true again for the buyer storefronts and for the admins. You can create admins that match your business needs. The Commerce Engine is a non-opinionated solution that you can use in many different ways. The default applications we provide or those that you create are opinionated. It's your opinion on how your business should work. So tailoring is one thing to increase revenues. Second thing is to personalize search and merchandising. Personalizing, individualizing the experience for your visitors, for the buyers. And to do that, we provide a very powerful data-driven platform that also provides real-time analytics and artificial intelligence. I'm going to show you that in a demo. So let me jump back to my browser. I'm going to use another one of our customers to show you that. Big Lots is a customer using our AI-powered search capabilities. You can also create manual rules, right? You don't have to go full AI-powered. And they use that to individualize the search results, to individualize the recommendations and so on. So let me show you a short journey. Big Lots is a huge customer. They have 14,000 physical stores in the United States. They are mainly selling home furniture, appliances, home decor, bedding sets, groceries. They also have groceries, snacks, beauty and personal care. So it's pretty huge. And I'm going to show you a journey where search results evolve based on your behavior. If I click on the search bar on top, just clicking, not writing anything, you see a few suggestions. Those suggestions can be trending products. It can be products that have visited previously. It can be products that lookalike audiences are purchasing or looking at. Okay, or it can just be products that the customer choose to boost or to pin on top of search results. So that's a preview search. And now if I start to search for different things, I can search for snacks. Okay, and you see some food available. I can search for, I don't know, desks. And if I start to search for chocolate, pay attention to the search results here. If you search for chocolate, you see at this point in time, just chocolate to eat, food, okay? So that's what we see right now. But if I search for sofas, because I want to purchase a sofa, I click enter, I will land on the full search results here. Which is also powered by AI. The orders, the products selected on top are powered by AI and or your custom rules that you might have created. If I click on show filters, also the filters can be pushed on top automatically using AI. And so everything can be automatically powered or with custom rules again. If I start to show interest in some of the products, for example, I click on this sofa, I land on a product detail page. And this product detail page obviously shows some information about the product. It's loading pretty slowly this time. I don't know why, but I'm showing interest in a sofa, so some information about the product. That's all hosted in the United States, right? And here you see some recommendations. If you look at similar items, there are different ways to power this. You can use image analysis. our AI algorithm is able to detect similar images, so similar products based on their images. It's capable to detect similar products based on description or tags analysis, or a combination of both. That's the type of algorithm you can choose to use on this particular widget. If you look at the second recommendation widget, it's customers also bought. What did customers who have a similar behavior to mine purchase? Here you have examples. Whatever I do on this solution, the platform increases or decreases my affinity with certain brands, with certain products, with certain categories. If I see something in a search result, it will slightly increase my affinity because I've seen it, right? But if I click on it, my affinity is increased even more. So now I'm going to tell the platform I have huge interest in the category sofa, in those types of products. So let me click on a few of them to really show the platform my interest is in sofas. So now I click on one, I can click on another one here. I can click on a third one, maybe. Okay, and one last one just to be sure. I'm really telling the platform that I have that huge interest. And if I come back immediately to search, or 3 weeks later, the results will have changed. When I click on it, you only see sofas. The first thing I see is sofas, even before I write anything. The platform understands my interests and the search results evolve. Okay? But now, what's funny, if I search for chocolate, as I did before, you will see I don't see just food anymore. I still have a bit of food in my search result, but I have sofas. Sofas, color, chocolate. It's a different search result. You still have a bit of food because when you search for chocolate, usually food is one of the best sellers. But in my case, I have such a big interest in sofas that it's showing me sofas. This preview search that evolves in itself means a 15% increase in conversion rate. Just the preview search without the other features we ship around that, without recommendation, cross-sells, upsells, and so on. Okay, that's an average across our customers. It varies from 6 to 20%. The average is around 15 to 16%. That's the increase in conversion rate. This works. This brings revenues. So that was it for those 2 short demos. Just want to explain one more thing about what I've just displayed. It's called product discovery, and it has 3 main pillars. That's the definition of Gartner. So the 3 main pillars of product discovery is search, what we've just seen. So everything around relevance, about semantic, about visual, about understanding what the customer's writing, using natural languages, automatic misspells, corrections, and so on. Second pillar is around merchandising, still the visual approach, showing merchandising, showing recommendations, so upsells, cross-sells, etc. And the third pillar is around product browsing, so catalog navigation, SEO, product gift finder. And on top of those 3 pillars for product discovery, you have personalization. You can even personalize a campaign. You can push a banner, a campaign using our capabilities to certain segments, or use AI to define which widget with which campaign is best for this audience. This provides also optimization and testing, so A/B testing, and very detailed analytics. I'm not going to show you that today, but in the backend, you have very detailed analytics around your commerce activity. And this is thanks that this platform is a data-driven platform. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the demo and the presentation of the platform, short introduction. I'll give it back to Peter, who's going to take you through a few other values of our proposal.
Thanks, Marc. Really interesting stuff there. Just going to come back onto my screen here to show you what we have. Okay. I'm going to assume I'm going to get the thumbs up from everybody. Okay, so thanks, Marc. So what Marc's done is go through 2 key aspects of the presentation this morning. One is talking at owning your own roadmap, looking at the architecture, the very, very modern architecture that Sitecore is on delivering to the marketplace when it comes to composable commerce. And there's some great examples there from the Cups marketplace. about how that very personalized experience is driving a very active and quite a large marketplace in the US. And the second one was increased revenues, and there we focused on the AI-powered search and merchandising platform that again is another element of the Sitecore Composable Commerce Cloud. What I'm going to do now is just touch on a couple more. The first one is improving business flexibility. Now, that's quite often an underrated yet highly valuable aspect of your commerce operations. I mean, how many of us on the call here today have been managing commerce systems or managing a commerce capability within a company, and the request has come, can we do this? And the response has had to be sometimes, no, we can't. We're having to wait until we get some more functionality from the vendor, or we're having to wait until we do some more development, or we're having to wait until we get a new product. And really what we're trying to do here is show you that that doesn't have to be the case. So improving business flexibility is a highly valuable aspect of when you go out and look for commerce platforms and commerce services. So when we look at this, we think of companies who want to pivot their businesses, want to enter into new marketplaces. And as I mentioned at the very beginning of this presentation, becoming a destination site or becoming your own private marketplace is a rapidly growing aspect of commerce at the moment. We can't all be private marketplaces, but many people who get in first do gain a lot of value by delivering not only their own service and products to consumers, but some other complementary products and services, providing collaborations and partnerships with other vendors and suppliers who want to come in to this marketplace. So there's a lot of control. There's a lot of incentive of becoming a destination marketplace, and that technology is very complex, can be complex. The ability to manage that can be complex, and yet if you have the right provider and the right partner, then that can be done fairly easily. The other thing is about flexibility. There's always cool tech on the marketplace. We're always looking at new things, whether it be AI headsets, whether it be other devices, whether it be social commerce, whether it be the metaverse. There are other areas that are coming downstream that you want the ability to take advantage of very, very quickly. So the ability to connect into these new areas and these new technologies is absolutely vital today. Your tech vendor is not going to be able to provide everything you want at the time you want it in today's marketplace. You need to be able to take advantage of best of breed technologies out there. And the way we deliver these systems these days is very, very different. In the old days with your monolithic platforms, you probably signed up to a 9-month development project, and then you press the button and hopefully everything's going to work fine. And hopefully your business wants to operate in exactly the same way as you defined it 12 months ago. That is not always the case. So the ability to deliver very short MVPs or minimum viable products, the ability to test things, to actually fail fast, to test, deliver, and then incrementally drive new experiences and additions to those experiences is absolutely key these days. So we need a lot of agility and flexibility in the tech systems and platforms to support the flexibility and agility we need in our businesses. Just an example of that, we have a company called Archway here. Archway are a marketing services provider. They are actually the seller in that diagram on the right hand side. Now Archway provides some products to very big brands like Starbucks, like PPG, and also like J&J. But you can see down in the bottom left hand corner how the experiences that Archway have built for their customers and the users in their customers are very, very different. J&J at the back there is very, very white, very, very simple, just a list of products, whereas the Starbucks experience for the Starbucks coffee teams is very, very B2C like, very rich in content, and is a classic experience that you see on the web, even though that's more of an internal buying process. So Archway is the seller. Archway sells some products, supplies some products, but it also has a raft of suppliers here that supply things like branded t-shirts, cups, posters, marketing materials, anything that the coffee shops or anything that PPG for its paint sales and J&J and their other 70 plus major accounts need. And of course, the way we use this is that each of those customer segments, so the buyer segments, has a different catalog, different pricing, whether it's for Starbucks, whether it's an owner of many Starbucks, or whether it's just a single coffee shop. then they would have a different catalog, different pricing, and a different experience potentially at the other end. What happens is that the orders come through for a mixture of products and services, and then Archway are able to supply some themselves, but very seamlessly pass those orders through into their other supply network. And then those suppliers are then responsible for delivering and fulfilling the orders directly to the buyer organizations. So it is a marketplace. It's a very active and profitable marketplace for Archway. They are the destination site for many, many marketing services. And of course, they have the ability to grow their offer to their buyer and their major clients. They can just add more suppliers onto that, and it becomes a very simple growth model. Let's go. Oh, sorry, let's go that way. Another example here is a company called Aveda. They are a subsidiary of Estee Lauder, so we probably all know Estee Lauder and Aveda as being the manufacturer and supplier of beauty products. Aveda supplies their beauty products directly, or has been supplying directly to beauty salons or hair salons. And you can see that there are over 4,000 customer salons at that side. They've also expanded this model to supply a B2C experience as well. But the primary model was there to sell and supply products directly from Aveda into their salons. And you can see some of the complexity behind this, even though it looks very simple. There was a key integration to their ERP at the back end. There were many, many different transaction types that have been built up over time, but they wanted to put a platform in place which gave them this flexibility to be able to grow product, grow services, and then move out into different market segments. So again, OrderCloud providing the infrastructure to be able to provide quite an expansive business model. And the last element we're going to touch on this morning, really, as we come to the end of the call, is something that's probably close to all of our hearts, which is lower time to market and lower cost, lower total cost of ownership of products. So as I said before, the monolithic approach has always been quite a long time to market. It's a very heavy back-end development project. You do sign up for them very early on, and depending on which monolith platform you've opted for, it can go into many months or even many years to build those systems out. And you're getting no value from them throughout that whole time scale. You're putting a lot of cost into it, but you gain no value. And the monoliths typically, as Marc has said earlier on, is that you will be waiting for the next version to come in order to give you more functionality that your business needs. You will be dependent on them for scaling the system because they either host it in their cloud or they scale the software for you. You have to keep up to date because you have to keep up to the maintenance programs, you have to keep up to the SLAs. So basically it's a very, very heavy and expensive process of owning a big monolithic platform. And what we're looking for in the modern world here with the Mac architecture that Marc talked about is really very, very lightweight development. So first of all, OrderCloud is a true SaaS platform. True SaaS means it is versionless. We update it, we maintain it. You only use what you need to use. You only pay for what you use. Okay, so to you as a customer, potential customer of OrderCloud, you'd be looking to buy in the type of functionality, use the type of functionality that your particular market, your consumers needed, your experience needed. So it's always up to date. You don't have to do any maintenance upgrades at all. So you can think of that cost taken out of your TCO calculation. In terms of lightweight as well, it allows you to deliver these very MVP-based projects. I've got an example on the screen here, 6-week implementation. And you can see this is a true headless. So the experience was built in React. It was cited on OrderCloud as a true headless platform. And they were delivering, selling product, fulfilling orders, and providing consumers with products after 6 weeks. And that was done over Christmas, by the way. So after 6 weeks, of course, you build out your roadmap then to start delivering more functionality, more products, more services, a different experience. Perhaps you want to move into a different market segment. Perhaps you want to go abroad, move into geographic markets. All those can be incrementally added as you continually delivering value back to the business and testing out this new system. Why did this particular customer choose OrderCloud? Well, certainly, you know, our partner there was a very, very strong partner. All the partners that we use for OrderCloud are all certified, and we as Sitecore provide advisory services through our partner for every single project. So if you were to become a customer of OrderCloud, you'd be seeing and feeling the benefit of Sitecore OrderCloud specialists. You know, the partner was able to accelerate MVP to deliver production site in time to market. This customer had a very, very short time window, and that's what they were able to do. And you can see that the Mac approach, so using this Microservices API first cloud and headless architecture of OrderCloud, was able to deliver really a lot of flexibility and agility for building out and developing use cases as they go through the project. So a really good example of how agile the platform is able to support a very agile business. The last one I'm going to show you is a company called Backmans. Now, the ability, as we said, to respond to your business is quite key. During the current pandemic, Backmans have garden centres and florists. All those centres had to shut down, but they still wanted to service their customers because they still had a product. So they wanted to implement something called curbside pickup, which is like a click and collect. They came to us and said, how do we do this? Well, they had two options. One, they could have put it into their buyer experience, into their lightweight development area, their React application, or they could have asked us to put it into the OrderCloud API. We decided to do that, and we were able to deliver curbside pickup to Backmans in 3 days. So that just shows how quick and agile the use of a Mac architected platform really is. So they were very happy. They were able to continually service their customers and sell products through a very testing time. Okay, so there we are. We come to the end of the presentation. I think wrapping up, we're just keen for you to perhaps take away some of those key points. We try to split up our presentation to 4 main areas. Own your roadmap. Look at the architecture, look at the ability of being in control of your destiny, your own roadmap. Why should your business be dependent on a technology vendor and the functionality and capabilities that they're supplying to you? Take away those straitjackets and really be in control of your own roadmap and your own destinies. Increase revenues. We have the technology here to start using very advanced AI routines and AI technologies to really drive conversion rates. The KPIs for commerce are still very much the same, you know, they're getting people onto your website, getting them to spend a lot of time on your website, getting them to drive conversions, getting them to drive the size of basket through upsells and cross sells and recommendations. And now we have the technology in something like Sitecore Discover to play a very key role in making those KPIs very, very successful. Improve business flexibility, very underrated topic. When people look at commerce platforms, they say, well, how many features have you got out of the box? That is not where you drive value or where you protect your business for the future. The ability to flex the systems to allow you to flex your business is really where high value is. So I'd encourage you to look at how flexible the platform is and how agile it makes you as a business owner. And then at the end, total cost of ownership. Commerce can be expensive. Expensive commerce can be prohibitive, but using these platforms, you only use what you need and you only pay for what you use. That's a subscription service to commerce, and then you being in control of so you don't have to worry about performance, you have to worry about security, that's all taken care of. All you have to worry about is developing the best experience you can for your consumers. So that's me. I think I'll leave it there and pass you back to Jeroen, perhaps, and perhaps we can look at any questions that may be on the chat line.
Well, thank you very much, Peter, and Marc as well for this very insightful presentation. We did get a question, and I understood that Marc will answer this question, so let me switch over to him. And the question is, during the presentation, it was mentioned that OrderCloud is headless. If you also have a CMS that's headless, how does that work? Do both of them share the same front end?
So that's a very good question, and I think that's the power of a headless. Your headless solutions can work seamlessly together. So yes, you can create one front-end application that leverages both the CMS and the commerce engine, Sitecore Commerce Cloud. And the CMS can be obviously Sitecore CMS, which is a headless CMS, but it can also be a CMS from any other vendor that is headless. The objective is definitely to be able to compose your solution. We do not tie you. We do not force you in one technology stack. We encourage best of breed. So use our commerce engine. It's flexible, it's headless, and next to that, maybe Sitecore CMS fits your needs. Maybe another one does. So use another CMS. As long as it's headless, everything works seamlessly together.
Well, thank you. Well, I think there are no further questions. So, well, it sounds very interesting. Well, as Uxbee also, we decided to become a specialized partner. So if you have any questions how everything that was presented today would be applicable to your situation, please feel free to send us an email. Same goes for topics for a next webinar. If you have any suggestions or something you'd like to know more about, please send your suggestions to hello@uxbee.nl, and we'll come back to you. Well, again, thank you, Peter and Marc, for this very insightful presentation, and have a lovely rest of the day.
You too. Thanks for hosting us. Just want to add a word. Uxbee is experienced in commerce, experienced in headless, in front ends. They are there to build your solutions with OrderCloud. So we'd be happy to work all together with them and you. Thanks for joining.
Likewise. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.